In
mic on?
5, 4,
Is this thing on?
3, 2,
Oh, is this thing
1.
on?
Dazzling the diamond. When mutants are in danger, the White Queen
Is this thing
answers.
on?
Usually.
You've got 1.
Ah, okay. Maybe it was on the whole time, I don't even know. But, here we are. I'm in a Doom match and I'm proficiency farming because I have just been challenged to a 1v1 later today, alright? It's Thor v Thor. And sure, I'm playing Emma, but I need the practice. Plus, I really like this character and I gotta get her to Lord. Ah, you pussy.
You can't be
Alright.
rid of me so easily.
So I'm gonna be honest. Emma Frost, I'm probably, I'd say mid with her. Like, I think I'm pretty decent, honestly, but I do lose from time to time. Hello, how you doing? Yeah, I know I should probably change the title of this live to something like Marvel Rivals. Trying my best to get bored with Emma Frost, practicing for a 1v1 later. But I just wanted to get right into the game, so I'm gonna have to do that at another point in time. Maybe if I had like some moderators for the live, it'd be a little bit better, but I'm new to this thing. What can I say? Do you play Marvel Rivals in the chat?
All they did was
Who's your
make
main?
me angrier.
You're not going
Who is your main? I don't have a main, honestly, if you were wondering. I don't really main a character, I just like the tanks. The tanks are really good. I told myself that I'm gonna have lorded every character before I quit playing this game. And I really think that that's true. Because it's just really fun. You're like, Spider-Man. I'm not gonna lie. I have a lot of love for Spider-Man's kid. Spider-Man and Black Panther are two of my faves. Even though I can't play them at all.
Some rejuvenation would be nice.
I'm so bad with both of them. It's like, it doesn't even make sense to me to pick Black Panther. There's no scenario where I'll ever pick Black Panther or Spider-Man. But they're my favorites because they're so fast.
You can't be rid of me so easily,
Okay.
I'm afraid.
1 kill, 3 deaths. Gotta step up something here. Wow, wow. Fuck me. What?
Maximum pulse!
The other team needs to
That Iron Man. I watched him just get like
The other
5
team needs to
kills.
eliminate 5 more.
Shit's ridiculous. What's up? Welcome to the
The
live.
other team needs to eliminate 4 more.
I'm proficiency farming because someone wants to 1v1 me later, and I gotta prove that I'm better.
Tremble before blast!
Ah, I looked at my phone.
Tremble before blast!
Double kill. That's 3. Wow,
You
4 in a
can't be rid of
row.
me so easily, I'm afraid.
Hey, if you enjoy this content, could
The
you
other
hit
team
that
needs to eliminate 2
bell
more
so
players.
let me know next time? Because I would do more videos if I got more viewers than 5. 2 is honestly the most that I've ever gotten. 3 is the most that I've ever gotten. I usually just have 1. Maybe I might have had 2 at one
To
point.
eliminate 1 more
I've never
player.
had 3. Whoop. I'll tell you guys straight up. I'm I is the word I use.
Fantastic!
Okay. Actually, people in my faction said that I was the second worst. And I'm like, second worst? This is fucking crazy. Like, maybe my stats say that I was bad. And sure, I was third worst in this game, but second worst in my faction is really making the other people sound like they're better than they are. I think the lines are very blurred about where anyone is in the faction. But yeah. I am proficiency farming for Emma, and then, you know, practicing for this 1v1. He's like, dude, I challenge you to a Thor
You're on your
1v1
own
later
this
on
time,
today.
So choose wisely.
Thor
The
1v1.
higher the pressure,
I actually
the
think
more
Thor might be
dazzling
my
the
main
diamond.
if I had a main.
The battle
I
starts
play
in
him the
5,
most.
4.
Don't know if I have the most
3,
hours with him. I'm pretty sure I have the most hours with Doctor Strange. But like, my Thor, usually the only reason that I lose a game and I'm playing Thor
When
is because we had a
mutants are
bad
in
healer.
danger, the White
And I had to
Queen
switch to
answers.
Rocket.
Usually.
I only have
You've
one
got one
viewer
job.
now.
Take down
Goodbye.
as many enemies as
Thanks
you
for
can.
joining. Hope you guys subscribed. That's sad. Hey, that was still the most viewers I ever had. So, amen to that.
Emma Frost never surrenders.
I remember what I was gonna do. I was gonna talk about what I think is gonna happen in Avengers Doomsday. I set that out. I said when I go on live, I'm gonna talk about what's gonna happen in Avengers Doomsday. So let's get into it, right? With my one person that's here, I want you to let me know in the chat what you think is gonna happen in Avengers Doomsday.
Even trained for this?
But I necessarily think that Tony Stark is gonna be Tony Stark. I don't think Doctor Doom is going to be Victor Von Doom.
I could go for a pick-me-up. I'll admit, I truly enjoyed putting you down, Logan.
I also don't think that they're going to be able to pay off on enough.
Spider-Man!
A lot of people already assume that there's going to be a big reboot at the end of that movie, or at the end of the 2 movies that are coming, and I fully agree with that. Like, there's no way that they're going to keep the whole universe alive. I'm lagging now, so I hope that doesn't affect my game footage too much.
You've got the most points. Keep up the
I have the most points.
Again!
top.
Fuck you.
Emma Frost
How was he able
never
to brave through my
surrenders.
shit, though? I guess I gotta...
The more the merrier.
Grabbing the Ethernet cable. Bear with me here. But then, so obviously we know that Spider-Man's not going to be in Avengers Doomsday, right? Spider-Man's not going to be in Avengers Doomsday, but I don't think it's going to be like, oh, like there's no mention of him at all. Wherever,
Armed and...
you know, all the Avengers are, there. I think there's going to be some mention of Spidey. Not to mention, weren't Toby and Andrew kind of confirmed to be in Doomsday? Even if Holland isn't? You know, are they just going to be small cameos again like they were in No Way Home?
Judge!
Or are they actually
jury,
going to have like,
Executioner!
more of a reason to be in the story? Because, like, I don't know really how much impact Andrew and Toby had on Tom. Because we just, you know, they haven't paid off on it. Definitely didn't seem like that much, you know, just watching it in the movie. I'm going to be honest, it kind of seemed like just a cool cameo and some jokes. Seemed more like fan service. It's kind of why I don't like No Way Home. I think it's too much fan service. It also gives people a reason to say Andrew Garfield is the best Spider-Man, which offends me, because I think that Tobey Maguire was the best.
Some uninvited guests.
You thought you were slick? Did you see that? Anyway. But then there's the thing about the Avengers and the Avengers. There's the Avengers and the new Avengers, and then there's the Fantastic Four, and then there's the X-Men, and then we're just supposed to assume that there's not going to be any Guardians of the Galaxy, but honestly, I don't know why they wouldn't want to add the Guardians of the Galaxy. Other than, you know, I guess there's reasons why. James Gunn's done, and most of the actors pretty much have said that they're done too, but if they're going to get Peter Quill, Chris Pratt back, they could also get Bradley Cooper back. Like, they don't all not want to work with Marvel. It's just like Batista, maybe Zoe Saldana, you know, Sean Gunn, James Gunn. But not the entirety of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Not to mention, the Guardians of the Galaxy are always cycling out new members. There's, even The Thing was a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy at one point. The Thing was a member of the Avengers at one point. Obviously, he wasn't a member of the X-Men. He wasn't a member of every team.
The other team needs to eliminate 5 more players.
Emma Frost never surrenders.
Never miss.
What I really want to see, though, and this might even be really selfish and probably not going to happen, is the cameos from Deadpool and Wolverine. I actually care more about seeing them than I care about seeing the new X-Men. You don't have to keep bringing me all the old shit if you could just like pay off on the old shit that you're bringing in, you know? Because the cameos they get annoying after a while, right? And what are we supposed to say? Like, oh,
Emma Frost
the
never
Daredevil and the
surrenders.
Elektra in they're just cannon fodder and they just are thrown away. Like, they weren't that good, and Charlie Cox's Daredevil is just so much better. Like, really? Like, what? We're supposed to just presume that... I mean, I don't know. I guess it's situational, right?
Look who's here.
The fact that their universes may or may not have been destroyed. There's a lot of gray area.
To eliminate 3 more players.
Whereas, instead of you just like shoehorning in the X-Men, or maybe they're gonna shoehorn in the old Fantastic Four, how about they shoehorn in why the fuck Blade was even there? What happened to Blade? How did he get there? Who actually is that Gambit? You know, like, I think I care a little bit more about them just fleshing that out
The other team needs
than
to
bringing us
eliminate 2
some more new stuff. I don't really need to see Ben Affleck's Daredevil unless they're going to explain why Elektra was there. And are they going to say, oh, Ben Affleck's Daredevil was in the Fox universe the whole time? Like, you know, I'd rather they pay off on that. Especially since, you know, at the end of it all, the MCU is, you know, after Secret Wars, the MCU is going to be synergized and they're going to be able to just have everyone together. I think they might as well just give us a good old culmination. If they really want to beat DC, because personally I think DC is the king of the multiverse story. I don't think anyone's doing it better than DC. Crisis on Infinite Earths, when that came out in whatever, the 90s or 80s, not only did it change the game, but it also fixed the game. It said, okay, these stories like are convoluted and there's a lot of continuity, so what we're going to do is we're going to take everything that people really remember and just say that it was all different universes and make it make sense, right? But they also paid off on things, you know? Like how shitty would it be if we find out that Deadpool and Wolverine actually isn't the same universe as, you know, the original X-Men trilogy? We never have actually had it confirmed that it's the same universe. We just assume it is because we want it to be. Oh, why? Because Logan happened? You know, like... Logan is supposed to be an alternate timeline. So if Logan happened, does that now mean that that is the canon timeline? It goes Days of Future Past, then Logan? Like, this is something that just is supposed to happen? No. So with that being said, there's going to be these plot holes that need to be paid off, and those I think take a little bit more precedent than, you know, just try to throw all the characters in for one big old fight. And I've heard people talk about how they're gonna maybe use Deadpool to use his little fourth wall break as a way of being like, we're not gonna explain all of it, just have fun at the movie. And yeah, I don't want that. I don't want that. You gotta give me good writing. You can't just fourth wall break yourself out of this one. I want good writing, and I think it can be delivered on if they put it through. I've heard many YouTubers, you know, because I care about this shit. Okay, I watch all the news. I've heard many YouTubers talk about how and speculate how it could work out to the point where I don't even watch the trailers anymore. I just want to see which YouTuber was right and whether or not my own theory was correct. Yeah. I'm gonna take a brief pause. Okay, I might step on some toes with what I'm about to say here, but I think that the Spider-Man movies, that Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, don't have good writing. Yeah. I don't think they have good writing. I think maybe the second one, I personally will say that the second one is the strongest of the three movies. A lot of people will tell you that the third one is. I think that they just really like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, but for me personally, the second one is the best one. And sure, yeah, it heavily relies on Peter Parker is now Iron Man Jr., whatever. But so what? Like, they made their bed, now we gotta lay in it. I feel like at least the second one was the one that was authentic, you know?
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2.
The first one was good too, don't get me wrong, but it really felt like a Flash episode. That's how I feel about. There's a few movies that I think are Flash episodes, right? Spider-Man: Homecoming, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
One job. Take down as many
I think those are Flash episodes where they're not really bad, but you don't really. It's not like you're missing anything by not watching this movie, because any reference or Easter egg that they made, they just really didn't even ever try to like do anything with it. I think they have Ultron's head in a scene in Spider-Man: Homecoming. What the hell? Like, don't put shit like that in the movie. Oh, the head of the bad guy. That'd be like if they put a fucking Infinity Gauntlet just in a blink and you miss it moment in the Marvels. Like, come on, dude, what are you doing? Anyway, I think I'm getting off track here. The Spider-Man movies, right? With Spider-Man Brand New Day coming out, I'm hearing all these rumors about the villains. I listen to it. It's too much to listen to, honestly. I'll have to come back to the video and the article and reread it again. But it has been confirmed, basically, that there's going to be a lot of villains. And we know that Marvel wants to do street level, but Sony wants to do multiversal, and they're trying to work out a way. I think the movie is going to be split down the middle. I think it is going to be a multiversal street level movie where they're going to have cameos and a big bunch of shit. Because it's been too many years without Spider-Man to do something small. You're going to have to do something large. I think Sadie Sink's character might be Mary Jane. Honestly, she could be Mary Jane from another universe. You know, with this rumor about Rio Morales being cast, but no Miles Morales being announced, this has me thinking, you know, like, let's really go balls to the wall and just theorize for a sec, right? We can do a street level movie that is also multiversal, and we also want to do a movie where, you know, he's not going to be in Doomsday, but it's going to have implications for Doomsday because he's going to be in Secret Wars, right? And he's also not in Daredevil Born Again, right? So I'm telling you all this build up because what if he goes to a universe where Peter Parker is dead? What if he's already there? And I mean, like, there's no real proof that like everything was okay at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home. All we did was just see him go into an apartment, and he swings around with his new suit on. That's it. We don't even know if he's in the same universe. We don't know shit. All we know is what was seen on screen. And maybe Miles is gonna get bitten by the spider.
Don't mess with the amazing
You know,
Spider-Man!
that could even build off of the... I mean, pretty much it would be Into the Spider-Verse, actually. It would be, wouldn't it? If they'd pretty much be making Into the Spider-Verse from the perspective of Peter, where Peter is the protagonist. And
The other team
who says we even have to meet
5 more
Miles?
players.
Maybe we don't have to meet Miles. We
Judge,
could just meet his...
jury,
It could just not be about him.
executioner!
I like this idea because you know, everyone they want to bring Miles in, they want it to be multiversal, they want to do all these things. I think I just came up with the idea right there, and if that's already what the idea is, I just want to say, hey, you heard in my video that I theorized that was going to happen. Now, I think Sadie Sink, I think she could be the MJ in this universe where Peter died. Okay? Maybe we go to a universe where, you know, once they found out that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, they saw him as a hero, and he has to wrestle with, do I want to go back to my own universe or not? And then there's these incursions that's happening. Like, it doesn't have to be a Kingpin thing. It could totally just be an incursions thing, and like, he's fighting these villains who have better tech than the villains that he's used to facing. Or maybe they have worse tech than the villains he's used to facing. Maybe he goes to this really shitty city where he's basically like a Superman to all of them, and he has to, it's a brand new day, and he really has to figure out, like, okay, am I gonna stay here and just live life, like, you know, replace this dead Peter, or, you know,
The other team needs to eliminate
let this universe die? I think that could really be something cool, and yeah, then you'll have your multiversal street level movie, and with good writing. See, because what Spider-Man really needs is people who think about cohesion, and they think about good writing, and they think about the character of Peter Parker. He is someone who has a tragic story, you know, and he's like the, you know, he's always down and he's out, but he pulls through. That's what his character is, and the writing has to put him in these situations where he's down and out. That's, sorry, the writer is actually Spider-Man's greatest villain. I think Far From Home and Homecoming were a little too nice for Spidey. I mean, what was really the threat about Homecoming? Was it his like crush, his crush and his crush's dad? His crush's dad, you know. Did we ever think that he was gonna lose? Were there ever really any stakes?
You're on your own this time.
No,
So
we
choose
always thought he
wisely.
was gonna win. Whole time through the movie.
higher the pressure.
I didn't even think
The battle starts
Aunt
in
May
5,
dying in No Way Home was actually a
4,
huge
3,
surprise.
2,
It was huge. I didn't expect that was going to happen. Because I'm so used to all his movies are so happy-go-lucky. I figured, okay, Uncle Ben's already dead, and he's just going to have all his supporting characters forever. You know, like, that was like a good step in the right direction.
He's
This next
got
one's going to
one
have more of
job.
that.
Take down as
I
many
really
enemies
hope
as
that,
you can.
you know, I hope that he gets rebooted, and then MJ can stay Zendaya, and Ned Leeds can
Look who's
stay
here.
the actor whose name I don't remember right now. And you know, that's all fine and dandy, but maybe they don't need to be his universe's version. You know? Like, Doctor Strange did erase everyone's memories. How about we keep it that way? I don't know. Let's try to make it seem like his magic is actually worth something. After all, like, he has all these spells where he says, oh, it can't do blah blah blah, or it can do such and such. But then it gets broken. Like, is that your whole character, dude? You think that your shit will last forever, but then it actually doesn't? It's, yeah, no, it's... They need to just make some things last forever with Doctor Strange. Establish some stability in the universe. And just keep them forgetting his identity in this universe. When we decide to go to another universe after Secret Wars, then they can remember him and he can go back to... I mean, put him in college or recast him. That's what I'm just saying.
Double KO.
Don't put Tom Holland back in high school, unless you're gonna make him a high school. Yeah, which is a thing they could do. It's a Spider-Man video game. Might be in the comics. I kind of stopped reading Marvel comics in the late 2000s, or the 2010s. I was always more of a DC guy, but I really just moved in on DC.
All they did was make me angrier.
So yeah, I think Sadie Sink is gonna be MJ. I don't want her to be Tobey Maguire's daughter and Tom Holland goes to Tobey Maguire's universe. Unless we are also saying that Miles comes from Tobey Maguire's universe. Alright, so what do we think about that, huh? How about Miles comes from Tobey Maguire's universe and then he's like the OG buddy and, you know, I kind of fuck with that idea. Are they going to do that? I don't think so.
Don't mess with the amazing
You know, if they go around the
Spider-Man!
route of Sadie Sink is Peter Parker's daughter, then they are probably just gonna make it, you know, Miles is probably gonna come from a different universe. It's not gonna be cohesive. Because, you know, I just don't like those plot points. If an audience member is watching the movie and is still asking questions, and they were paying attention, then that means that there's a problem.
I could go for a pick-me-up. Gone.
I'm not saying that a movie has to have a previously on scene or a scene where we fully break down in depth everything from exposition, but we really do need it. Like, things need to be more explained. Things can't just be sloppy, especially when you get to Spider-Man 4, which is the first ever Spider-Man 4. You know, they've tried out
I'm ready to put on a
the
show.
Spider-Man trilogies and trying to do this for so long. It seems like they're
The
doing it right.
amazing Spider-Man!
Moving on, right? Something else we need to talk about is the Venom situation, right? We don't know anything about Venom, and it's starting to seem like we won't get Tom Holland in a Venom suit. Or that if we do, it'll be cheap. You know? And when I say cheap, I mean like, I don't know, was it cheap how he got it in the comics? I'm not sure, because I didn't think it was cheap, but then
Don't mess
what I've
with
been
the
hearing
amazing
recently is
Spider-Man!
that the way he got it in the comics was just because it was Secret Wars and they were fighting Thanos, and then the Venom was on the planet when they were fighting Thanos, and then the suit jumped onto him, and then that's how it
I could
happened.
go for a pick-me-up.
I don't know if that's just, if I just explained exactly that's how it went, or if there's more to it than that, but I personally don't like it. Yeah, no, I like the Eddie Brock stuff a lot more. It's more compelling.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
I like the idea of him getting it from something that was on Earth. I don't like that it has to happen. Because I think that Venom should be the big bad of the arc. I don't think that Venom should come in at the end of a big bad's arc and then be the big bad. I think it should start off as the big bad. You know what I mean? I've heard people say that they want multiple movies of Black Suit, Venom Spider-Man, where it goes over time, he gets corrupted. And I'm not particularly against that or fond of it, but it's just I don't know how that would work because people love Venom too much. I think people like Venom more than they like Symbiote Suit Spider-Man. Not to mention we would lose Spider-Man by having Symbiote Suit Spider-Man. So I don't think we could do a Symbiote Suit Spider-Man for longer than one movie, or like maybe two halves, the back half of one and the front half of another. It can't be a whole, you know, what, like, because isn't Symbiote Suit Spider-Man like low-key a villain? He's what are we gonna start watching? Is this a Punisher movie now? That's scary.
Some uninvited guests.
A lot of kids like Spider-Man. Maybe you put Symbiote Spider-Man, he can like break somebody's bones. But you cannot have him like murdering villains. Definitely, our image of Venom is so flawed nowadays, and I don't know how they're gonna retcon Venom.
Easily, I'm afraid.
Let there be carnage. I don't know how they're gonna retcon that, but they said that Venom is Venom. You know, they're all the same
Don't
Venom
mess with the amazing
mentally.
Spider-Man!
And if they're all the same Venom mentally, then that must mean that any Venom that Tom Holland's going to have is going to be fully aware of who Tobey Maguire is. He already likes Spider-Man.
Don't mess with the amazing
They can't say things.
Spider-Man!
Needs to eliminate 6 more players.
They can't say things.
You can't be rid of me so easily, I'm afraid.
The other team needs to
I mean, okay, maybe because Venom died in the third movie. Ugh, That's just disgusting. That's disgusting, actually, though. I hate to see some shit like that. I think Venom is just done, man. You gotta wait till after the reboot to do Venom. And because symbiote suit Spider-Man does not really matter anymore because there was already Venom. So even if we get Venom, all symbiote suit Spider-Man is a reason why Venom has the spider on his chest. And like, do we really care? Is that really, like, does that even matter? No. At this point, Venom's whole story has just been kind of removed from Spider-Man. One thing that they're definitely trying to synergize Venom as being kind of his own thing. Like, with Agent Venom, I don't even know why Agent Venom has a spider emblem on his chest. Like, you don't even need that, dude. You have nothing to do with Spider-Man. Like, what, Flash Thompson?
Go for a pick-me-up.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I never read any Agent Venom comics because I thought it was stupid. I never liked Hero Venom, honestly. This Venom's son thing, like, in concept, conceptually sounds cool. The stuff that's in the comic, I know they're not gonna do that in the movies. That would be awful. It doesn't even seem that good in the comics. It just seems creative. What are we saying? Okay, let me keep talking about MCU stuff. Yeah, I don't.
Can't be rid of me so easily,
I think if they're smart, they're gonna hold off on Venom until after Secret Wars. Yeah, because Venom is either dead or will cause too many complications for the MCU. Or maybe Venom was never a I feel like he was a villain, right? I don't know, the video game makes it seem like Venom's goal is to conquer the planet. Like, he kind of wants to be Null, doesn't he? That's what the Spider-Man game makes it seem like.
Some rejuvenation would be nice.
Venom basically is Null in Spider-Man 2. Wow, fuck this guy. Did you see that? Gwen. Are we gonna get Gwen in this movie? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's not really what I'm looking for. And Sadie Sink, if she's playing Gwen, please, for the love of God, if Sadie Sink is playing Gwen, they need, I repeat, they need to just go ahead and say that this is Gwen from Into the Spider-Verse. Okay? Make her Gwen from Into the Spider-Verse. Boom! Tell me, wouldn't that be freaking awesome? Wouldn't that be awesome? Because, like, evidently, you know, this stuff is not very different, right? What are they doing with Into the Spider-Verse? Oh, the multiverse is collapsing. But they think that it's because of Spider-Man going to the universes, but really it's just... I mean, it's the same thing in the MCU canon, where people going to the universes, other universes, is causing incursions, and it's causing the damage of it's causing the damage of their universe, right? So since it's the same thing that they're running away from in both movies, it's the same thing that they're gonna, at the end of the day, right, they're gonna save the multiverse. So why don't we just say it's the same multiverse? I think they're gonna do that. And I think that that's what we really need to lock in and see. I think that Sadie Sink might be fucking Gwen Stacy. Because if she's Gwen Stacy, then we can shoehorn Miles in effortlessly. We can really shoehorn Miles in effortlessly. Instead of us having a new Miles, we could just have a kinda new Miles, you know? Like how they're trying to soft reboot Spider-Man but still keep Tom Holland. We could do the same thing, not with Shameik Moore, but with because Shameik Moore's a grown-ass man. He's I'm pretty sure he's older than Tom Holland. But, you know, in essence, that character that Shameik Moore was playing, we could have a younger African-American looking guy who looks like the character to just be the live-action iteration of it. You know what? Where we lose, and I'm really praying that, you know, let me put it to a question, right? Would you rather that the Professor X in Multiverse of Madness is the same as the one from the Fox movies, or different? I personally want him to be the same one. I think it's really cool if there's some like all the Professor X's are like Nexus because they can read each other's minds. So he remembers that shit because to him he felt it. He felt it in a dream. You know, they gotta connect things. They gotta connect things, right? This whole dream thing cannot be a one-to like Multiverse of Madness made something great with that. Made something amazing with that. Tom Holland is having dreams about Andrew Garfield's life. Tom Holland's having dreams about Tobey Maguire's life. Like this is what's happening. They got to do that. Professor X knows all of his shit. He knows Multiverse of Madness self. He knows his X-Men self. He even knows about his MCU counterpart because there's a Charles Xavier there, and he just doesn't have powers. You know, got to do that.
Exquisite. You expected less? Their hand is mine. Some uninvited guests. You deserved that, dear.
Okay, yeah, I had to lock in for a sec. You see me? You see me? Yeah, no, the Dreamwalker thing, like, okay, everyone doesn't have to fucking dreamwalk, but come on.
With the amazing spice.
It's not, because you gotta remember, Doctor Strange didn't know anything about the multiverse. I mean, he knew about the multiverse, but he didn't know that the dreams were another reality. He just thought he was having dreams, and he was wearing weird clothes. He learned that for the first time. So
Would be nice.
Tom Holland could totally be having those dreams. And I think he should be having those dreams, right? Now that we've made that a thing, let's retcon it in. Let's put that in more. I never have liked the idea of... You know, I think something that Marvel should learn from DC is the headless Superman. The headless Superman is still brilliant. Even though we hated it for what it was, think about it, man. In Spider-Man movie, we could totally have the Avengers show up. We just don't have to have it be the main actors. We could just... You know, they could be in the back. It could just be some extras. They could just be some people who vaguely look like, you know, Chris Evans in the gang. And they can just be background characters who are not played by their main actors, and you never really just see them zoomed in on their face. And that would work out fine. For some reason, I think they're afraid of it because they're afraid that people would complain that they didn't get the full Avengers. They didn't get too much. Yeah.
Us against the world.
Like, the possibilities are endless, you know? They really are. So what else is coming out? Oh, so then we have Daredevil. Let's talk about some non-multiversal stuff, okay? I mean, how long is it gonna not be multiversal for? I don't know. I actually think it could benefit for some multiversal stuff, even though it will suck. I think what Daredevil needs is to just make the street level more street level. But then also establish that the street level people aren't just like incompetent to the cosmic shit, you know? Because that's not how it is in the comics, you know? Daredevil isn't just like, oh shit, Thanos is coming? Like, oh, I'm gonna hide in my house. That's not what's going on, bro. Daredevil would still help fight Thanos. He'll be fucking there. He might not be that useful, but maybe he could be, you know? He could spin around and you know? So it's like, what we need is to show that these guys are still useful and that all the Daredevil stuff isn't meaningless after Secret Wars. Because if it's all meaningless after Secret Wars, then why are we watching it in the first place? You know, it's a waste of money, right? What it's gonna have to do with this is definitely give us a reason for why we're not seeing people, right? I don't really want a Jessica Jones show. I gotta be honest. I don't want a Jessica Jones show again. I don't want a Luke Cage show again. None of that. I think that Jessica Jones is cool on her own, and we already had her show, and that's nice. You know, maybe we could have a cartoon or something, or like just give her a movie. But a show is just, it's too much content. It's too many episodes. It's too many episodes for just this one-trick person, you know, like, it's a one-trick story. You don't have, like, Luke Cage was barely in her shit, he was a cameo, then you gotta go watch the Luke Cage show, and there's the Iron Fist show. I'm like, come on, what are we doing? We got movies to watch. We can't watch the shows and the movies. Like, there's other stuff out there. We're not gonna be Marvel fucking fanatics. I think they should just, like, cut that out, and we can have Daredevil maybe for 2 more seasons, and then they should try to just do a Marvel show, man. Like a Legends of Tomorrow for the street level, like a darker version of Legends of Tomorrow. What about that? Let's give us like imagine, because I never watched the Defenders, but I'll tell you one thing. I'm sure it was boring. Okay? I'm sure it was boring. I'm sure there were moments where the writing was ass. Because we were bored. Dude. We were bored. Iron Fist was lackluster. Luke Cage was... It was good, but it was oversaturated. It was too much. It just kind of became like, this... And you're like sitting here, you're watching this, and it's like, is this even connected to the Marvel shit? Especially since, you know, the worst part about all this brand synergy is, you know, we're not gonna have it how we used to. Alright? We used to, sure they were bad movies, but there was X-Men Dark Phoenix that came out the same, there were like 2 Fox movies and 2 DC movies and Marvel movies. We had 6 superhero movies to watch in a year. Now that they're all under one umbrella, you're gonna have 3. That's not fun. And it sucks, but yeah, I mean that's the way money works. Some people want the X-Men to stay in a universe of their own, or you know they don't want it to all be one universe. And I think the problem with that is like it's too late. Maybe it should be more of a Earth 1, Earth 2 situation, right? Because I thought that that's what they were doing with DCEU and the CW shows. I think they should learn from the CW a little bit more. Do a Earth 1, Earth 2 type thing with them. And just kind of stay away from the multiverse. Don't touch the multiverse anymore. It's ugly, it's stupid, it's really just used to retcon things and fix continuity, but other than that, it shouldn't really be touched. And I would personally love if Spider-Man is the only character who ventures outside of his own universe just to do some little shit with another Spider-Man. Or maybe he meets the other Avengers every once in a while, you know, what so have you. But that's what they should do with Disney Plus and ABC or whatever, is go back to the basics. Go back to the basics. It can be owned by one company, but just make Disney Plus only have, you know, the Ultimate Universe, and then make ABC have some little universe that, you know, whatever. Maybe it's like the universe that, like, it's like kid friendly, you know? For shows that people just weren't really feeling, like Miss Marvel. I don't think Miss Marvel was bad. I'm a grown-ass man. That show was boring to me. It was too childish. Sure, the cultural aspect was nice. It's a coming-of-age tale. Sure, it's all great. But I'm a grown-up, you know? Secret Invasion honestly felt like it probably would have been good if I was like 12 or like 8. But I'm a grown-up. That show sucked. I can recognize bad writing, and when it's blatant, you know, Disney Plus, if they want to have bad writing, just don't connect it to the stuff with the good writing, because it just makes the stuff with the good writing look a little bit worse, because it's even associated with the bad writing. And I don't think they ever really learned about that. Don't think they ever figured that part out. Then we got Black Panther, right? What I find is the deal about the Black Panther stuff is that, you know, we appreciate that they honored Chadwick Boseman, but it was wrong to not recast him. You know, just from a writer's standpoint, I don't know, it almost just feels kind of like BLM pandering to have not
Battle starts in 5,
recast him.
4, 3,
You know what I
2,
mean? Like,
1.
come on, dude. He wasn't T'Challa. You can't just kill the character for the MCU. Like, I don't know what he died of. Like, did he die of cancer in the
You've
MCU
got
too?
one job.
What?
Take down as many enemies as you can. Sorry, someone just took over your top spot.
Why am I the thing? Ultimately, I don't even... Like, I'm probably gonna watch Fantastic Four in theaters, but I'm nowhere near as excited for Fantastic Four as I was for Thunderbolts. Or... I'm gonna be honest, I probably have equivalent excitement for Fantastic Four. Maybe just like a little bit more excited for Fantastic Four than for Ironheart. But if I'm being honest, I actually am I'm pretty excited for Ironheart. Ironheart's gonna be good. Like, people think it's gonna be shit, but like, come on. It's gonna tie into Wakanda forever, so we're gonna have some Wakanda in there. It's gonna tie into street level, come on. I don't know where she lives, what, is it Louisiana? I don't really remember. It's gonna tie into street level Marvel. Mephisto's gonna be in it, and you know what, Mephisto? We can reconnect to Agatha and the gang, you know? And it's got some science in there.
You can't be
Science
with me
and
so
magic.
easily, I'm afraid.
When we say the words science and magic in Marvel, you know, we associate it with a young girl like Ironheart. Then we can also talk about Miss Marvel, or, I mean, I don't know how science is. We can talk about America Chavez, because she's magic, which means we can talk about Doctor Strange, which means we can talk about Wong, who is totally open to appearing in
This
Disney Plus
queen's
stuff.
reign isn't over.
Yeah, talk about science. We got Bruce Banner, who also is open to being in the Disney Plus stuff. You know, because I personally think that Bruce Banner is not going to be with Sam Wilson's Avengers. Not because he doesn't want to be, but because he's doing something else. I think Bruce Banner is going to link up with Wong. Or, yeah. Because if Wong's with She-Hulk... Wong's with She-Hulk, right? Bruce Banner's probably going to be with She-Hulk. Like, more than likely. Wong, She-Hulk, Bruce Banner. Probably not Abomination, but maybe Abomination.
That's 3.
Wong, She-Hulk, Bruce Banner, Captain Marvel, Shang-Chi. I don't remember if Sam Wilson was in that FaceTime call.
I will have my revenge for that.
I got you. The other team needs to eliminate 6 more players.
I love YouTube ads. Yay!
The other team needs to eliminate 5 more players. The other team needs to eliminate 4 more players.
I haven't seen this.
Some rejuvenation. All they did was make me angrier.
First!
First time you used the rings, we felt this camouflage. Right? Okay.
Some rejuvenation would be nice.
The other team needs to eliminate 3 more players.
So sorry, I have to deal with this. Can you give me another first?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're going to be the Avengers.
The other team needs
I don't
to
think they're going to be in the Avengers. I don't think they're going to be in, what's his face's Avengers? Sam Wilson, Captain America's.
The other team needs to eliminate one more player.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be in it. I think they're all going to be on their own team. Maybe they're the Guardians of the Galaxy. Or something like that, you know? I actually think they're going to be the Young Avengers as well. I think it's going to be kind of a situation where, you know, let's look at Young Justice for reference, right? We can have Bruce Banner kind of as a Red Tornado type guy. We'll have Shang-Chi and Kate Bishop as like adult, you know, adult role models, sort of, kind of. But Sam Wilson's Avengers, right? Who is even going to be... Actually, I guess they have to be in Sam Wilson's Avengers, don't they? Because who else would he have on his team? Unless we just get a bunch of new characters. Because Doctor Strange is with Clea.
You're on
And
your own this
his
time.
movie, I have
Choose
no idea what
wisely.
it's going to be about. I don't even ask me for a theory, because I can't give you any theories. I did never read a Doctor
3,
Strange comic
2,
growing up. Like I said, DC, not Marvel.
Diamond.
Yeah. Don't really know much about Doctor Strange and
proudly
Clea's
wear the X,
lives,
even
what they
when
have
it
to do with
clashes
Doctor...
with my own
Like, I know...
symbol.
What's his name? Doctor Doom?
You've got
Doctor
one
Doom
job.
is...
Take down as many
He
enemies
is
as you
magical,
can.
right?
Sorry, someone just took over
But
your top
that's
spot.
about the most I know about that. I think he connects more with Mephisto than he does with Doctor Strange. Besides the fact that Doctor Doom has aspired to be Sorcerer Supreme. Twice. Then there's a multiversal stuff, which he knows now about incursions. He knows not to cause them, and he knows what they do.
This
So I really don't
queen's
think
reign
he's out here
isn't
trying to start
over.
another incursion. He's not going to accidentally do that. Now, with those set leaked footage photos of Doctor Strange being on Doctor Doom's team, that just bears the question to me of why do we think that this is actually,
Some rejuvenation,
you know, our Doctor Strange? And why don't we think this is a random Benedict Cumberbatch? Because, you know, we already have seen that most of the Doctor Stranges are Benedict Cumberbatch. It's not a Tobey Maguire and Andrew situation here. So really what that means is, or I guess Reed Richards, Fantastic Four, they also get different identities. So it's like, he doesn't really have to, I don't even know what I'm going to say here. I just feel like his story it's going to be mostly filler. It's going to be mostly filler. Unless they're trying to set him up to be a big bad, or the one who saves the day at the end. But its story's going to be mostly filler. It's going to be another Captain Marvel. Sorry. Best Doctor Strange movie was the first one. But I love his concept, and I love the magic, and, you know, like, he's conceptually really cool, but the second movie and the first movie, they lacked things in places they needed to have, you know. Not too much I can speculate on Doctor Strange. I think our Thunderbolts will become Doctor Doom's Avengers.
This queen's reign
Right?
isn't over.
Do we really think that they can afford that? You know, come on. Do we really think that they can afford Doctor Doom's Avengers to actually be? Because I've heard some fan theories saying that, oh, he's gonna have a Chris Evans who's gonna be an evil Captain America, and he's gonna fool, you know, him and the Chris Evans are gonna fool people into thinking that they're Tony and Steve. And I'm just sitting here thinking, you think they got enough money to write all them in all those scenes? Like, you know, that's many scenes, right? Like, they're gonna talk to this person and talk to this person, and we have to think that they're the real Tony for a minute before that they actually get revealed. Like, what? Hell no. That's not gonna happen. Chris Evans will probably be in a couple scenes if he's even brought back. He'll be like a he'll be in a big fight or something like that. He's not gonna have more than 10 minutes on screen
Emma Frost
because he's
never
too expensive.
surrenders.
And this movie is like, you know, they really can't throw their whole budget at this movie because they already have a bunch of other shit that's planned out. Not to mention, you know, sure they have a lot of money, but they're definitely smart enough to realize that they have been losing money from the MCU recently. Even if they were technically making money, they were losing money just for the fact that they should have been making more.
The other team needs to eliminate 4 more players.
It's just the way it is. Other characters. Who else is there?
Look who's here.
Moon Knight. Oh man. Moon Knight, Ghost Rider, all of them. They can wait till the next. Like, can they wait, please? Can they wait? Can we just get rid of this universe before we try to like? I just don't know if establishing more in this universe is a smart.
Some rejuvenation
Right?
would be nice.
Like, unless we're trying to just like exhaust these people's contracts, and that's why we would do it. I don't see why. Or, you know, something that I kind of like that they did, which they probably won't do, was, you know, after DC's Flashpoint happened in the comics, right? They still did just a few stories that were set in the universe before the Flashpoint, even though that universe was presumed to be destroyed. You know? As if that universe didn't get destroyed. Kind of like a what if, like, is this even an alternate universe? Then they paid off on it later. Yeah, that's still there. Pre-New 52 is still there. They could do that again, which they're kind of trying to do with the X-Men and what they did in Deadpool and Wolverine. But really, they need to do that with this universe as well. Wipe the slate clean, and now that, you know, Disney finally owns the rights to all of their shit, you know, it's GG's. You have the rights to nearly everything that you're supposed to have the rights to.
The moon haunts you.
Nearly everything you're supposed to have the rights to. Apparently they don't have
Emma Frost.
Hulk and they don't have Spidey. I see movies like the Thunderbolts and it confuses me because what are they doing with that? You know, I liked the Thunderbolts a lot. I actually think it was probably it's too good. It might actually be bad because of how good it is. Like, come on, you know, there's movies that have to come after this, right? Like, Thunderbolts wasn't supposed to be that good. So unless the quality is really about to go up after Thunderbolts, that's gonna be fucking disappointing. Because I heard that it didn't actually get that good of a box office. And that's just because people expected it to suck, you know? We didn't know who the Thunderbolts were. And Suicide Squad left a bad taste in our mouth, so
I could go
you
for
showed
a
us it's
pick-me-up.
Marvel's Suicide Squad with characters that we recognize even less. It's like, nah.
The other team needs to eliminate 2
The
more players.
moon haunts you.
Fantastic Four even being added in is like, that's another franchise, dude. It's another expensive franchise, which means like we can't hold on to all these franchises, especially with the actors that we're using, man. Like,
Needs to eliminate 1
you know, like, okay, I don't act at all, unfortunately, even though I totally wanted to be an actor. I've always wanted to be an actor. It really boils down to the fact that I haven't really been in a financial place to where I can just go and do auditions. Like, I usually am in a place where, like, oh, I need to have money right now, more for sure, a job. But I have always dreamed of it, and if the situation ever presented itself and I knew for sure, like, acting would pay my rent, it would help me, like, pay for where I need to live, then I would totally go into acting, right? And with me saying that, I've always wanted to play 2 people, Miles Morales and Nightwing. And I'm getting older, quicker. I'm actually... I'm afraid that if you looked at a picture of me now, you would say that I'm too old to play Miles Morales. Okay, and that sucks. Matter of fact, hey Siri, how old is Tom Holland?
Tom Holland is 20.
No, fuck that. You could you could still put makeup on me, and you could still shave my face, and say that I could play Miles Morales, and we could just put me like a junior in high school, you know? Because I look the part, I have gymnastic experience, I know the character, and I'm not going to be expensive. I want to play the character just for the sake of playing the character. I'm not about to ask for a lot of money. Matter of fact, these motherfuckers could pay me, you know, well, Feige, John Watts, all you guys out there, just, you know, listen to this video, watch this video, and then we'll talk later. Okay, but totally I'm your guy for this one. Unless James Gunn wants me for Nightwing, in which case, sorry, you know, I am a hot commodity right now. I kind of fit the height and the age, and I know the characters really. What am I talking about? Let me get back to the shit. Okay, I don't even know why I brought this up. Why did I bring up Miles again? Because of the Rio Morales leak casting and shit like that? Dude, Miles Morales needs to be put in Marvel Rivals, that's for sure. I don't think the Thunderbolts actually would be Doctor Doom's. Yeah, nah, they're not gonna be Doctor Doom's Avengers.
You're on your own
That's
this
lame.
time, so choose wisely.
That'd be really lame.
The
I hope
higher
they don't
the
do that.
pressure,
Oh
the
my god,
more
you know how
dazzle.
fucking lame that'd be? Like,
The
they
battle
gotta do the
starts in
multiversal
5,
Avengers.
4,
Or, like I'm saying,
3,
just get some
2,
pretty, like, regular actors to play, you know, other alternate universe versions of Captain
The
America
only
and the
thing
gang.
stronger than my
You know, like,
skin
get some
is
of the
my
fucking people
mind.
who were in, like, Euphoria, or just some ABC
You've got
actors
one
who can
job.
kind of play
Take
serious
down
roles.
as many enemies as you can.
You know, I'm sure they would love to do it, right? And it's just, you know, they're gonna probably die in the movie anyway. But, you know, that would be cool, you know? And that's something that multiversal comics have always been known for. It's when they give you something that's super outlandish, right? And it just has, like, you know, it's super irrelevant, but the fact that it's a little bit relevant is kind of cool, right? And they could totally
You
do
can't
that.
be rid of
Give
me
us, like,
so easily, I'm
fucking.
afraid.
This is a totally just like an example of a cheap actor where you could get to play a character. You could get Michael Cera. Sorry, Michael Cera. I don't think you're cheap. I just don't think that you are very expensive. Is Michael Cera expensive? I don't know. You talk to me about this. But you could get Michael Cera to be a one-off Spider-Man. You really could. You could get Michael Cera to be a one-off Bruce Banner. And it's just shit like that. You could get fucking Common to play a Luke Cage. You could get Common to play the Prowler, and you think Common's gonna charge the same amount as an Idris Elba? Definitely not.
All they did was make me angry.
Definitely not. You know, there are more actors who are out there. Utilize the actors. Utilize the actors. Just bump them up a little bit more than your average extra. And if you want, you can even get an extra. Just, you know? Because what does it matter at the end of the day? It's the fact that you're showing it. It's the fact that you took the energy. Instead of making like a CGI mess of a bunch of Deadpools. I don't know how many of those Deadpools were real actors and how many of them were just, you know, CGI fill bots, you know? But that's important. That's really important. I would rather there are 1,000 people wearing Deadpool costumes, and they all have different variations of the Deadpool costume. Than it's, you know, you tell me you can't pay $1,000 for, I guess $1,000.
This queen's
whatever.
reign is
Supernova!
I don't know. I should have like scripted this video. I don't script my videos. I just kind of go spit bars.
Look who's here.
Maximum pulse!
I am ready to put on a show.
Is that person talking to me?
Are
Leo Zilla? So confused.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Emma
What else is
Frost
there
never
to talk about?
surrenders.
Kind of staying in the same, you know, topic of MCU stuff and news. Man, I'm telling you, there's a lot of things in the MCU that I think should have been fixed. But you know, it's not like I know everything about the actors. Like maybe these people are saying no, but I just think Evan
I
Peters,
could go for a pick-me-up.
you know, why didn't they just make Evan Peters Quicksilver?
The other team needs to eliminate 6 more players.
Oh yeah, somehow Palpatine returned. No, somehow Wanda's, you know, shit. I mean, okay, the fact that she had sons in other universes means that she could kind of conjure up people that exist in other universes, right? The fact that her brother already does exist, and the fact that, you know, basically what I'm saying is we could have written it to where Evan Peters was, you know, the Quicksilver from the Fox universe. Because at that point the deal had been finalized. Or they could have just, you know, if they wanted to be slick and not say that he was from the Fox universe, they could have been like, oh, I'm your brother, but I lost my memories. Like she was controlling me, but now she's not controlling me anymore. I don't know. I'm Pietro, and she's my sister, and I don't know how I got here. It's definitely not my universe, etc., etc. And then we could, you know, after the merger was complete, then he could say, yeah, my dad is blah blah blah, and then he could connect with, you know,
Get rid of me so easily, I'm afraid.
They could have done that instead of fucking Ralph Boner. It's even worse the fact that they brought Ralph Boner back in Wanda Agatha all along, just for him to still be Ralph Boner. Like, are you serious? What? Like, really? This is your own content that you're making, and like you're gonna write stories with the holes like this. It's like, come on, like, you're not gonna pay off on these things. That's the only person that you can look at is the creators, because I think that's really disappointing. Why is it because they don't know what to do with Wanda? Did they want to kill Wanda? Sometimes I think Feige actually wanted Wanda to be dead, but since people did not fuck with the fact that they made her into a villain and killed her, he was like, shit, alright, yeah, we'll figure something else out. Because, I don't know, man. It just doesn't make sense to me that Evan Peters wasn't just Quicksilver. You know, it would have just been cohesive. It would have been cool. It would have been cool. I also don't necessarily think this. It's been too long, so we can't do anything about it. But the world did not need to forget Peter.
Don't mess with
The world did not need to forget. That's so dumb. I'm sure that caused more problems than it did. So, like, maybe that's why we haven't had him in so long, because the world forgot him, right? Which is kind of a blessing and a curse. I mean, they really were preparing for the worst. They thought that was going to be the last Tom Holland movie. So they figured, alright, if this is going to be our last one, we might as well say that everyone forgot he was there, so we can keep moving along without him. Like, I understand it, I just, you know, that's Sony's fault if that movie has any flaws, really. I think some of the Eternals were confirmed to come back. I didn't watch the chairs. Let's see, who's all confirmed to come back? Who's all confirmed to come back in Doomsday? chairs. Or just Robert Downey Jr., we don't know. Chris Hemsworth. Sam Wilson. Loki. Bucky. Magneto. Magneto as in, you know, older man Magneto, not younger Magneto. Raven, older Magneto, not younger Raven, which is interesting. That's Mystique. Then we have Vision, which is Vision. We don't know if it's White Vision or Vision. Scott Lang, Wong, the older actor for Cyclops, the oldest actor for Beast, the older actor for Professor X, the older actor for Nightcrawler, Shuri, M'Baku, Shang-Chi, Red Guardian, Yelena, U.S. Agent Gambit, Channing Tatum had a chair? See, that's what complicates things. Joaquin Torres. Joaquin Torres having a chair is very interesting because I'm not going to say that I don't like Joaquin Torres. I'm just going to say he's another Falcon. Yeah, and it's like Falcon was he even in Infinity War? And when he was in Infinity War, what was he doing? Wasn't he just kind of like a filler character? Isn't the only reason that we're putting Falcon in these movies to say, oh yeah, he's a hero too. He stands by his team. Like, that's cool, but maybe we could go have Falcon doing something that, like he's not beating Doom. Who the fuck is he gonna be? Like, the fact that this Falcon, Joaquin Torres, who, you know, I was barely okay with Sam Wilson, but Joaquin Torres seems like even weaker and less competent than Sam Wilson was in Infinity War. I don't know if he's ready for this. Like, he could potentially die. Ooh, he could potentially die. Which, I mean, after getting injured in the last movie, I feel like that would be kind of, you know, what is he, just the punching bag for Sam Wilson to, you know, do a better talk no jutsu? That's pretty much what it is. Like, what is he, his Krillin or something? Maybe. Namor is said to be coming back. Okay. Ghost is said to be coming back. Invisible Woman is said to be coming back. Okay, yeah, the whole Fantastic Four. Wait, does it say the whole Fantastic Four, does it? Yeah, it does. Okay. No. I don't understand this. Why does it say... It does not say anywhere that Doctor Doom is confirmed and Tony Stark is confirmed. Am I wrong? I don't know if I'm wrong, but pretty sure... Hinted, right? We have Chris Evans hinted. Her... Peter B. Parker. That's... I don't know why we think any Peter Parker would show up. Doctor Strange. Stephen V. Strange. Is it not R. Strange, maybe? I don't know. Hawkeye might show up even though he hasn't been announced yet. In the concept art, which I did see, Hulk, T'Challa, Star-Lord. Kate Bishop Kamala, okay. Ah, so the Young Avengers actually haven't been confirmed yet. The Young Avengers haven't been confirmed yet. Deadpool and Wolverine haven't been confirmed yet. Wanda hasn't been confirmed yet. The Captain Marvel crew, none of them have been confirmed yet. Interesting. Yeah. After looking at the cast, it is going to be X-Men versus... Yeah. Here's what I think is going to happen, right? Ooh, big theory time now, right? My new theory, because I'm just going to be here theorizing until I decide to get off live. So who knows how long that'll be. My new theory, it stands out as this. Probably I'll be on it until I either get Lord or I'm going to get bored. Lord or bored. My new theory is that this movie will be Thunderbolts Avengers, New Avengers versus Fantastic Four. And I think small Sam Wilson Avengers and the X-Men are gonna either battle or they're gonna plan some shit. Okay? This is theory 1. Either way, I don't think that it's gonna be 2v2. You know, does that make sense? Like I guess that would be 1v1 over here and then 1v1 over there. I'm thinking that could be a situation because, you know, there's no way they're about to have all these cast members How are they gonna have all these cast members on screen at the same time, bro? They didn't do that in Infinity War. Probably not gonna do that here either. I mean, you
You're
know,
on your
you
own
want to give
this
us something to
time,
look forward to
so
in the next
choose
movie,
wisely.
unless the next movie's gonna have even more
The
cast
higher the
members,
pressure,
which would then make our characters kind of start to
The
seem
battle starts in
a little
5,
meaningless, you know.
4,
If we have just a billion
2,
characters.
1.
I don't even know how many characters they have in the original Secret Wars, but you can't do too much, right?
I proudly.
I mean, the
wear
original
X,
Secret Wars probably didn't have
even
much
when
Black
conscious
Widow.
of my ensemble.
I fell out of my
You
chair.
got one job. Take down as many enemies as you can.
So that's what I'm saying. Dude, it's because I want a pillow on my back. Alright? I gotta buy a new chair. Ah, the cracks in my floor.
Sorry, someone just took over your top spot.
The thing about Shang-Chi
Look who's here.
was that he didn't get enough. He didn't get enough development.
Gone and already forgotten.
Because you can really tell me that Shang-Chi takes place in another universe, and I wouldn't. I'd actually probably like that more. Maybe he exists in a universe where Bruce's arm is broken and he can't transform.
Someone's shooting from afar.
You know? Could be. You never know. Sounds really dumb. I can't really think of any more theories. But yeah, I don't think that Sam Wilson's Avengers... Because, like, okay, what we saw at the end of Thunderbolts is that the new Avengers are going to be the ones to say hello to the Fantastic Four, right? But that's not... You know, that doesn't have anything to do with the X-Men. Are they just going to both show up at the same time and then they're all just going to...
Mess with the amazing.
What? You know, like that wouldn't make any sense.
You deserve that, dear.
So no, I think Sam is gonna be. Maybe this stuff all happens on the same day. That would honestly be really funny. You know, very Marvel-y. That this all is happening on the same day. But I think Sam and
You can't get rid of
Bruce
me so
Banner
easily, I'm afraid.
and Shang-Chi and Captain Marvel. Or she's not in the movie, but Bruce Banner's not technically not in the movie either. You know, I'm only saying technically not in the movie because if they're not in the cast list, we should just assume that they won't have as much of a role as the characters who are in the cast list. I think that's a fair assumption to make. Either way, yeah, I think they're gonna welcome in the X-Men, especially since, you know, we don't know our Fantastic Four, but our Fantastic Four that we're gonna be getting with Joaquin Phoenix, they seem to be the kinds of people who, you know, like being in the limelight, and maybe they like being in the limelight more than they like always being the best heroes, you know, which is kind of why they would be interacting with the Thunderbolts. But we know that the people in the X-Men movies are all about being the best kinds of heroes. The same kinds of attributes that we see for people like Sam Wilson, Shang-Chi, you know. So, if the X-Men and Sam Wilson's team met, they might fight for a second,
Never miss.
but they're gonna really think, okay, like, what can we accomplish together, and what are the reasons that we're here? Like, why are you around me, you know? Whereas Thunderbolts and the Fantastic Four are gonna be like, you are a threat, you're an alien threat, like, you gotta get the hell out of here.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man.
But if the Thunderbolts talk that alien threat shit to the X-Men are about to whoop their asses, right? Fantastic Four might not have the same. Like, sure, Reed Richards can stretch shit, but like, what's gonna happen? Reed Richards is gonna beat the Fantastic Four in a fight, right? He's gonna stretch and he's gonna wrap around him. I'm pretty much. Oh my god! If this is true, then I really might have to do a parlay. Reed Richards is gonna stretch and he's gonna like get someone all wrapped up, and they're gonna do basically some shit where after they fight the Thunderbolts, they're gonna try and think like, yeah, we saved the day, right? But then people are gonna be like, hey, like they're attacking the Avengers, and then the Fantastic Four are gonna be like, what? What do you mean the Avengers? Like, sorry, like what? And they're gonna get arrested, and then and then that's how that's going to end up. Because ain't no way
Rejuvenation would be nice.
that the Fantastic Four is either going to win the fight
Plasma?
or, you know, be seen as good guys. What? No, they're not beating the Avengers. The Avengers are America's heroes, and apparently, you know, in this universe, America really fucks with the Avengers, and they like them enough that,
Go for a pick-me-up.
you know, they can still exist.
Some uninvited.
You know, I'm pretty sure it seems like the city would root for them.
The other team
That's all I'm
needs to
saying.
eliminate 6 more
A
players.
little bit more than they would root for the Fantastic Four. Some random new people who are all, we just saw them come out of a spaceship, and like, you know what?
That annoying sniper has been dealt with.
Unless,
The other team
I mean,
needs to eliminate
there was that
5
one
more
theory.
players.
Some rejuvenation would be nice.
There was that one theory, which I don't hate. I just don't really like it. It's that the Thunderbolts after credits scene is showing Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four when they first got their powers. And the way that they got their powers was by
Don't
going
mess with the
through
Amazing
another
Spider-Man!
universe. And while I do think that that's really cool,
Some rejuvenation
I just
would
don't
be
want
nice.
that. You know? Like, oh my god, we're watching the Fantastic Four movie, and then it turns out that scene in Thunderbolts was just a blink and you miss it moment of that's how they got their powers. Like, nah, it's okay. How about we just make it like actually them meeting each other for the first time, and we can call that
I could go for a pick.
one of the first scenes in
Look who's
Endgame,
here.
or whatever it's called now, Doomsday.
Someone's shooting from afar. Coward.
I think that's like a much better idea.
I could go for a pick-me-up.
You know, it could also be a situation where the X-Men and the... Let's just call them the Mighty Avengers. I think I like that name. The X-Men and the Mighty Avengers,
Needs to eliminate 3
they
more
are
players.
dealing with a Kang situation. Because, like, even though we know that there's no more Jonathan Majors, unfortunately,
2 more players.
I have heard rumors that he might be, like, in talks to do a cameo, but
Pick-me-up.
even if there really is no Jonathan Majors, like, there actually is nothing, right? You cannot leave all those plot threads behind. It does not make any sense. It doesn't make sense. And also, isn't Loki confirmed? Yeah, what are we going to do about that?
This queen's reign isn't over.
Oh,
It doesn't make any sense.
dangerous! Don't mess
He's
with
too
the
big of a
Amazing
bad.
Spider-
Even there's a lot of characters that are like that, where they should not have just been dealt with so quickly. High Evolutionary, I think, is another one where, like, doesn't he have a lot more that he's responsible for in the comics? Like, is he dead in the comics right now? Pretty sure he isn't.
Emma Frost.
I'm pretty sure he got away and is still doing more things, because I keep doing this in game. I'm not really excited for the Fantastic Four, though. Especially since it's even if it isn't confirmed that their universe will die at the end of the movie. I don't know, dude. It's just like it's the fact that it's not in the mainline continuity makes it not as really good. It doesn't make it as good. You know, we're not going to return to that reality. And why would we? It's the 1960s. It's a universe that presumably doesn't have the Avengers. Yeah, no, the Fantastic Four are the only heroes there. Why would we want to return to that universe? What's cool about that place other than the fact that the Fantastic Four were there? You know, the possibility of what we don't know is there? Sure, like that's nice. I don't really think that that's worth a lot. I don't think the Fantastic Four sequel, if they ever have one, definitely shouldn't take place in their universe, because their universe doesn't have any of the MCU characters. Do we want other versions of the MCU characters? It'd be cool, but then at that point, I just would rather the Fantastic Four becomes like a TV show thing, or they just... Because they're non-canon at that point. Once you become non-canon, which first half of the movie kind of is non-canon, yeah. Anyway, that's my time. I'm up. Thanks. Subscribe, like, and share with your friends. And if you like watching this video, maybe go ahead and hit that noti bell. Take it easy, guys.